Hello and welcome to Middle Age Geeks. My name is Phil. I'm joined as always by my co-host Daz. Daz, how are you?
I'm very good, man. Very good. Enjoying the weekend when it's finally not 0 fucking degrees. Although it was sad to not get any snow. I actually came close to taking Alma up the mountains to try and get some snow because she's devastated at the thought of no snow. But then a few hours later saw a news report of people lambasting people for going up the mountains and getting fucking stuck. Mountain rescue going, these fucking idiots going up the mountains. So, yeah, I avoided that one. But how about yourself? How are things?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's a fairly quiet week. You know, everybody I think is just easing themselves into the new year. Already looking at holidays because it's just been Baltic. I'm like, right. Where's sunny around this time of the year? Yeah, no, pretty good, man. So for anybody at home, we are just for your first time tuning in. We're mainly a podcast, a movie podcast, movie review podcast. So we'll start off by doing a couple of little sections where we will talk about what's jumped out at us in the news in the kind of geeky sphere, and then we'll talk about something we've been playing and watching this week before moving on to our movie review, which will be have a unspoilered section first and then a spoilered section, but you'll get plenty of warning. So yeah, Daz, with that in mind, how about our first section? What jumped out at you today or this week in the news?
Mainly there was some updates on Batman 2. Well, updates. Matt Reeves came out and said they are shooting this year, but the release date was put back to 2027, which is like, fuck's sake, that's a long time. Yeah. That'll be 5 years since the first one. And like Matt Reeves is wonderful, brilliant director, but he is notoriously slow with scripts, and it's like, fucking get a move on, man. Come on. It's but he did say that people would be or will be very surprised by the villain, so that has me like rub my hands together going, oh yeah. But it's just such a long wait, and yeah, like haven't even started shooting. And it's like, come on. But yeah, that was one of well, yeah, it's a good news story, but also a frustrating news story. But the main one then for me was, and I think yourself as well, was Demi Moore picking up a Golden Globe.
Yeah, delighted.
Which was fantastic. And Colin Farrell as well. But Demi Moore's, her speech was bloody brilliant. About not feeling your worth in the industry, and at 61 or 62, she finally won her first fucking award, and it's just like, holy shit. And yeah, it's just a lovely speech and just heartwarming moment, I think, for everyone watching.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't
good.
it? Like it just like she said something like she considered herself as the popcorn actress, or someone else had said it to her that she was.
Yeah.
And that kind of had that time. She wasn't going to be in the movies like this that were going to be considered for awards. You're just going to be in little bit parts and stuff, because I hadn't seen her anything in a while, maybe like Mr. Brooks, which is about 20 years ago. But even in Mr. Brooks, you didn't even need her storyline. It's fine to have her as the cop, but we didn't really, her storyline was probably the worst part of that movie.
Which is a shame.
So to see her in the substance and the performance she put on, which we obviously both were gushing about, it's brilliant to see her get Golden Globe. Like whether a movie like that would get her an Oscar, you don't know. It's a
tough one.
Yeah. So to get it for like a body horror movie like that, like it just shows how strong the performance was. Like, so fucking fair play to her. Delighted.
Yeah, she's brilliant. And then another bit of news, but it was like Marvel, just to throw some Marvel movie news in there. They are reportedly going to recast T'Challa in the next Black Panther movie, and I just think that those movies have lost so much steam. Like the second one was such a.
Isn't he dead in it? In the second one, they mentioned they've got a big thing of him has like rest in power, and there's a big thing of him. And
so they said, oh no, but they're going to recast him, and it's kind of like, but how and why? Is that just there's just another actor is going to take up the mantle of Black Panther, and that's not really a recasting story?
Yeah,
because the second one was such a, it just fell so flat for me. And even the first movie, I was looking back to double check, like that was nominated for an Oscar in 2019, which is like, just like Black Panther is a good movie, but like one of the 9 or 10 best movies of the year. I don't fucking think so. It was really just, I think it was over celebrated. But yeah, and it's just that just came up as kind of big news, but it's kind of like meh. It's just like, does anyone really care about the third one in that franchise? I don't know.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's I was surprised at that. Now I actually hadn't read that.
Mm.
I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought they just gone with it, like you said, a new person picking up the mantle of it. But like, how can you go unless they're going to start going some fucking the multiverse route? But I thought we were putting that behind us, like, you know.
And are they doing something where like, oh, we're going to bring back the original Black Panther and recast him as if a resurrection story or something? Like, I don't know the comics about Black Panther, whether that's actually a thing, but it's like you're resurrecting a dead actor's character. It's just like, fuck, come on, man. It's just it's great.
No one's going to be as good as him, and he was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's just, but that was pretty much just news-wise, kind of a slow news week. How about yourself?
A few things, just again on well, actually, one thing kind of related to Marvel. So you know, the 28 years later trilogy. Danny Boyle is saying that he's not doing the second, like the movie that's coming out this year is only the first of a trilogy, and so the second one he's not directing. He is directing the third one. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Who's doing the second one? And it's worrying because it's someone who directed a Marvel movie, Nia DaCosta, who did the Marvels.
Yeah.
And did the Marvels and did Candyman as well. So it's a little worrying that she's being picked for the 28 days or 28 years later. And how is she gonna? Because how is she gonna sandwich? She's the meat basically in a sandwich between two Danny Boyle movies. No, it's a big burden to carry. Like it's a bit to pull off that. She's gonna want to bring her own style into it, I assume.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just do all three? It's just that just reminds me of like the fucking new Star Wars trilogy where it's JJ set up something and then someone else goes, "Oh, okay, fuck that, I'm gonna do my own thing." And then JJ has to come back in and went, no, fuck that. We're back doing my thing, which doesn't work anymore. So we'll just piece it all together. And it's just like, you need a clear vision. Yeah, that's worrying it. Like I wouldn't be her biggest fan.
Now there is the thing that, like, you know, that they could do it as maybe it's going to be. I'm not. Look, maybe people will know more than I do about it, but maybe it's going to be three very different movies, not connected by cast. So just 28 years later, here's what's happening in America, here's what's happening in England, here's what's happening over here. It could be three movies that aren't really connected by anything other than the fact of the actual rage virus, and maybe that's what it is. But
if Alex Garland is writing all three, then you imagine they'd be pretty tight. Then it's really just a director's flair that would change, hopefully. But if she has too much control over the script, I wouldn't be.
It's not after the Marvels. It's
no. No thanks.
Then we got another look at season 2, another little trailer for season 2 of The Last of Us, which is so they come out with a date as well for April 2nd for when it's going to start.
That'll come up quick.
It is, and like there's one really very quick scene, and then I'm like, oh shit, that thing that we don't want to happen is probably going to happen. Like it's so close to the second game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The more you hear about it behind the scenes with Neil Druckmann, like, has brought on some people who helped him, write the second game onto his kind of writing staff, and that just seems like they're going to really go the same as season 1, kind of like for like, as the second game, which I think it's just going to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people that don't know the games are just going to watch the show and just be like, probably pretty pissed off, and then us that play the game that we're hoping for something different might be pissed off if they stick too much to the game. So it'll be quite I'd like to see the reviews for this, especially the first few episodes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they handle it. We'll leave it that because I obviously don't want to spoil it anymore. And
nothing to do with aliens. Nothing.
No aliens. No aliens. So just a few more quick things. The first thing is we've obviously talked a good bit on here about movies, movie and TV adaptations of video games. So both Horizon and Helldivers are both getting movies, and Ghost of Tsushima is getting an anime series, which would be fucking awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. And then the very last thing is, once again, we're going to come back. Assassin's Creed Shadow has changed its release date back to March.
I didn't even know that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That'll change again to November, guaranteed.
Yeah, fucking disaster. I just hope it comes out. I do want to play it because I do enjoy those games, but it's just shambles. Okay, cool. Look, well then let's that out of the way. Let's move on to what we've been playing or watching. Have you been getting into much in the new year, Des?
Games wise, really just playing more Indiana Jones, which the game just gets better and better. Like it's after the first two levels, I would say, were open world, and then after that, a few levels become a little more linear. But you're galloping around the world from Japan to Machu Picchu and everything. But then I've got to a new level in the jungle, and it opens up again and under open world with side missions and stuff like that. But the writing in this game it's just sublime. I think it's possibly one of the best Indiana Jones pieces of media. It's really good.
We haven't had much to chew on really since the Last Crusade.
Very true. Very true. But the writing is fantastic. Like for Indiana himself, but his kind of sidekick, kind of love interest, Gina, she's written sublimely. Like, I mean, I love Raiders of the Lost Ark and I love Last Crusade, but like the women in those movies are not exactly written that well. They're damsel in distress and all this kind of stuff. But Gina in this she's fantastic, and the dialogue interchanges between herself and Indy, it's just excellent writing. It just gets better and better. I don't want it to end. And yeah, apart from that, more Madden. Boring. But watching wise, I watched two movies. One we'll get into, and the other was I watched Seven in IMAX, the 30-year anniversary. It's the most packed I've seen the IMAX cinema in fucking years, man. Pre-COVID days, midnight Marvel movie releases, that kind of stuff. It was just fucking jam-packed. We always do front row, so I kind of row to myself up behind me. Yeah, it was just jam-packed, and this was, I was telling you, this is my 15th time seeing the movie on the big screen, 30 years after my 14th time. And it's like, if there was another showing after I came out, I would have just went straight back in again.
Excellent.
It's number two on my most favorite, or the best movies I've ever seen, behind Memento. But after seeing it this time, I think it might jump to number one. Like, it's a perfect movie. It's just every single part of it is absolutely perfect. The camera work, the acting, blah, blah, blah. But what I was thinking about, like the 30-year anniversary, it gets you thinking. And I was thinking about, like, I remember going to see it in 1995. Like, I remember, like, it was 15, 16 at the time. But there were so many people in the cinema that, like, when we were walking out afterwards, they were going, Jesus, that was fucking brilliant. I was like, yeah, how have you not seen this fucking movie? Like, but they're all in their, like, 20s and stuff. But then I was thinking, like, when I saw it in 1995, that's the equivalent of someone like me not seeing a movie from 1965.
Yeah.
Which is like, fucking like Sound of Music came out in 1965. Somebody said you hadn't seen that in the 90s. Like, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. But there were so many people that were just like laughing and fucking in horror at the end of the movie in the box and everything. But it was fucking great. But it just. We always talk about 1999 being what a movie or what a year for movies. But like, I was looking back and like we had Seven, Heat, Braveheart, Usual Suspects, 12 Monkeys, Toy Story, Leaving Las Vegas, Basketball Diaries in 1995. It was amazing. Wow. And of course, Mortal Kombat. Just like, what a fucking year. Yeah. And Judge Dredd as well. So we won't talk about that one. But that was Friday night, and the drive home, I was just in awe again. It was like seeing it for the first time again. Brilliant. And the IMAX was great. It was a 4K kind of upscale. It was restored and all this bells and whistles, all whatever, but it looked great 30 years ago, and it still looks good. So yeah, that was.
It was good to get that photo of you with the big queue going into the cinema, because as we said, if so many of the movies we've done, even like one of them, we're the only person in the screening of the show. Yeah. So it's great that like this. Okay, obviously it takes an old movie to do it, but that it's that movie is just stands the test of time. Like viewers, like it's absolutely incredible. Like it's and people, like some people probably would be put off by the fact that Kevin Spacey's in it. If they haven't seen it, some people would be put off. The people who can't separate, the art from the artist and kind of go, I'm not going to go and see it. But he is incredible in it. It's just fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Go see it, guys.
Yeah. So on my end, not a massive amount. Actually, I wanted to start off the new year right. So let's go and see what new games are coming out. But nothing was jumping out at me at all. If anything, I'll be playing like a new game from 2024. I was like, it was this close to picking up Veilguard just out of curiosity.
Yeah, because it's on sale at the moment.
I was like, I will do it because just like pure curiosity, I have to go and to check it out because get all these conflicting reports and it's I want to play it for myself. So just I've just been playing stuff that I'd already been playing. And again, even new wise, I haven't watched a whole lot. This is the thing I did watch was Ted Lasso series 3. I watched the whole thing because I was putting off watching it, just like I did with like The Good Place and stuff like that, because I don't want them to end. And you're like, watch it. That's the end of it, but then I only recently found out they're doing a season 4, and then I was like, wow. Shit. I was like, why? I'd heard that they had planned on ending on season 3, which means I knew it was going to get a good ending, and it does. Season 3 ends brilliant. When I finished season 3, I was like, fuck, leave it at that. Don't give it another one. That was kind of a bummer. Yeah, that bummer they're making another one. Like, I hope it's just not like when they tried to do that last season of Scrubs, which is supposed to be a different season, and they just it was like Scrubs interns, but set in the same hospital. A lot of some of the same characters. It was shite. They just let it go. I don't know. But yeah, no, fucking really quiet week. I'm looking forward to the movies and games that are coming out in the next few weeks. But it was a quiet enough week for me with regards to that kind of stuff. So with those two sections out of the way, we're going to move on now to our final section and our main section, which is our movie review. And Daz is going to take us through Sonic the Hedgehog movie 3. So Daz, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Super, yeah. So Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the third in the movie trilogy, directed by Jeff Fowler and starring Jim Carrey in the voices of Ben Schwartz, Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba, amongst others. And it's the same team behind the first two movies, which is great because the first two have done pretty well box office wise and decent reviews across the board. It's mad to think when the first teaser for the first movie came out and the whole look of fucking Sonic and the furore around it and everyone went fucking bananas and just
it was terrifying. It looked fucking terrifying, that original fucking design.
Why are you changing? Why are you making it look so fucking creepy? And then we get to hear where when the third one's coming out and everyone's just kind of raving about it and looking forward to it. Budget of 122 million, and so far it's made 350 million worldwide. In the US, it's only the second video game to cross the $200 million US domestic milestone, which is the only other was Mario Brothers, which went on to make fucking gazillion dollars or 1.3 billion. Basic synopsis then. And we'll do our spoiler-free, which will be probably most of the review, and then we'll go into a few spoilers of a few funny scenes. But basic synopsis is Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite to battle Shadow, a mysterious new enemy, with powers unlike anything they've faced before, and with their abilities outmatched in every way, they seek out an unlikely alliance to stop Shadow and protect the planet. And yeah, that's kind of it. So first, before we get into it, what were your thoughts coming out of cinema watching this one?
I thought it was great fun, man. I wasn't expecting anything spectacular. I enjoyed the first two. Didn't think they were amazing, but it's they're all about Jim Carrey. That's really it, And the thing about it is, at the start of this, I was like, there's not really enough Jim Carrey in this. Like for me, like it wasn't bringing him in fast enough, and he wasn't the focus, and it was annoying. But the parts that he's in, and we'll get into a couple of the scenes later on, man. I pissing myself laughing. Like he's absolutely brilliant. But it's just a lot of fun. Ben Schwartz brings so much energy to the character of Sonic. It's great to see here, I suppose. Idris Elba doing it's real deadpan serious. He's almost like Drax. Knuckles is almost like Drax,
Exactly.
And it's just a lot of fun, and it's James Marsden seems to be actually having the crack, even though most of the time it's going to be him talking to nothing basically, but like it's just a lot of fun, man. It's paced well. Apart from like the effects look amazing, but I still don't think the main characters look as good as the effects do, like the backgrounds, the explosions, the other CG stuff. I still think that the main character's CG isn't incredible.
It kind of comes across a little bit fluffy or something. It's not like I think like the hair effects on like Monsters Inc. or something, which is fucking years and years ago, still look a little bit better than this, if that makes sense.
I suppose,
they look great and stuff.
It's putting CG characters in the real world, you know, and I guess that I get that that's why it's different, you know. Whereas it's, you look at Monsters Inc. or Encanto or any of these ones that are incredible, and it's fully CG, you know. So I'm assuming it's probably better, easier to do it that way. But yeah, a lot of fun, man. What about you? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think the humor, it's like these things with kids movies where, you know, if you review it poorly or something like that, people are like, well, you're not reviewing it from the point of a kid, and not everything can have, you know, the levels that Pixar have, where it touches like where it gets adults laughing and kids laughing in equal measure, and not every kids movie has to have those themes for adults because they're not for us. But this has a lot, like I laughed like a good few times, like belly laughs, just out loud. It's just fucking great. But Jim Carrey, it's like he had said when he kind of quote unquote retired from acting, that it would take a golden script to, you know, get him back. And I don't think people expected this to be that golden script, and I don't think it is. But you can see why he came back to do it, because he's just whether he need the money or not is beside the point. But he's fucking having an absolute blast in this movie, and the fact that he plays two characters in this as well, gets to play off himself.
And I love that he makes a note of it. There's an actual line in it where he's making it. He's kind of like, you know, the same actor playing two characters in the same movie. Yeah. It's real. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's good. I thought like Keanu Reeves is fucking great. I mean, I love the kind of like his character is kind of a dark edge to it, and his redemption arc in it is fantastic. Idris Elba is wonderful in it, and the dynamic between kind of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails is great as a team. It's just, it's good. But I think the story works just really well. Like there's a where it's talking about, you know, like trauma and like anger and like Shadow's kind of path and his story arc, if you will, is just very believable, and some nice kind of flashbacks, and you just there's a proper reason for why he's doing what he's doing. That is it's great to see that in a kids movie, that there is kind of those levels, a bit more depth than, you know, like the Mario movie. Like we love, when it came out of that, it was just, that was fantastic. And that's where I think this is on a higher level than the Mario movie for me, even though I'm not a Sonic guy at all, and there's so many probably game references and stuff that over my head, like I played a few of the games, but I was more a Nintendo guy. But Mario, Super Mario Brothers, when we saw that, it's the whole movie is playing on nostalgia, and the nostalgia bait is the reason that you come out of that movie going, that was fucking brilliant. Where if you weren't into Mario and you watch Mario, you could. It's so thin. It's so just. It's like the games. The plot is absolute nonsense. Where this one, even though I'm not, the references and nostalgia doesn't get me, but the story and the characters worked anyway. So that's why I think I was genuinely surprised by that.
I think I'd agree with that, and like I'd even go as far as to say it's quite dark, like his motives and stuff. It's very dark for a kids movie. The only thing I think maybe bothered me a little bit was that the arc is kind of with regards to the character is similar, you know, to very similar story to the second one with regards to, you know, we're introduced to our new character. He ends up working with Robotnik, same way Knuckles did, and then obviously anybody. Like it's not going to be a spoiler to know that obviously Shadow is going to join Shadow's going to join Sonic in the end. Or
what?
I mean, like that's so like it's just, it was a little bit, I knew straight away when he was kind of like, okay, he's against him now. He's going to end up with him. Is that if you're doing that formula? Because now if we get a Sonic 4, now there's 4 of them. Is there going to be another one that's going to join the team? And is it going to be a similar way? Like that it's going to be good guy or bad guy turn good, and it's just how are they going to get more people? I think they need to just kind of change the formula up a little bit. But I mean, that's a minor gripe, just how they handled it. But it's so much fun. I really just I can't. I want to talk about that scene, the dancing in it, but it's just we'll have to wait till we get to the fucking spoiler section.
Yeah, but like the like I thought that even though the first half an hour doesn't have a lot of Jim Carrey, I thought the first half an hour was brilliant. Like just the way it was paced and it was just moving so fast and it just looked great. And just loved the Shadow character. And I was just sitting there going, "This is actually really fucking good." Like, and then obviously there's a little lull in the second act and all that. But when Jim Carrey starts coming back in, it just picks up pace again. And like final half an hour again, it's some of the action scenes are wonderful. Like really, really good. VFX is fucking crisp, and we always say geography of a scene. This action scenes are just brilliant, very easy to follow for kids. Like I'd love to bring my daughter to watch these because you're kind of thinking, do they move too fast paced? But no, I think it'd be fucking great. But the I imagine like kids obviously would just have a ball in this because it's it's very funny, it's very entertaining, it's very colorful, and it's dark, but it's kind of dark themes, which I think is good messaging around the movie for kind of kids as well. It's like one of those when you see Inside Out or something like that, where the kind of kind of tricky themes and could be you could get bogged down in the nitty gritty of trying to explain that to a kid, but just colors, people run around, it's fine. So yeah, like what would you give it if Star Wars?
I'd probably go 3.5 maybe. Like it's not going to be hit the heights of the likes of Inside Out 2 or the Wild Robot, and stuff like that from last year. I wouldn't put on the same scale as them, but it's as an animated kind of kids stuff or a mix of animated and real life movie. It's a lot of fun. So much of it does work, and it's for me though it's just a little bit predictable and. Yeah, I wasn't totally so. I'm really not a massive fan of the CG, and I like that's the. Obviously, I'm sure it's a very difficult thing to do. I just wasn't a massive fan of it, but the performances wise, I can't fault them. I really just, I really thought at the start, the first one, I was like, oh, I'm not too into Ben Schwartz. It's so over the top, stuff. But then as the movie went on, I was like, actually, I'm kind of into this. He's just, I'd love to see a backstage of the recording booth because he just seems to be having a blast with it, and I ended up laughing quite a lot, and it's a lot of fun. I think 3.5 is probably a fair enough score. What about you?
Yeah, probably 3. I'm actually thinking you because I didn't get around to watching the second one. So you've spoiled the second one for me. So Knuckles becomes part of the team. Fuckhead. I got 3 stars, but a really good 3 stars. Just very entertaining. Just good fun. Like it's something like if my daughter wanted to watch it on streaming or something, I very gladly watch it again and I pay attention. Sometimes if you're watching, Home Alone for the 9th time, you're not really watching it with your kid. But it's pretty good. So 3 stars. Yeah, really recommend it it's a wholesome family movie that has enough for everyone, I think.
Yeah. Are you a bit? I mean, this is before the spoiler section. Do you find it weird in these type of movies where people just seem to be completely okay with the fact that there's a mad-looking blue talking hedgehog? Like, because he does come from another universe, and in the first one, James Marsden, everybody's freaked out. What is this creature in our universe? This is terrifying, and he's obviously that's a hedgehog, and this is in a kinder, whatever the fuck it is, like, and then Tails is the fuck. They're all animated that, like, okay, maybe James Marsden realizes he's not having a psychotic break and he comes around to it. But the rest of society in general just have to, all right, it's the thing now. Like, I
can't remember the first one. Like, was there ever a kind of a news report or something? Oh, there's a hedgehog from another fucking universe.
Well,
or something.
Kind of thing they talk about, like, there's a big like blue blur has done X, Y, and Z, and like even when they bring him out, like he has him in a bar with him, they have him fucking dressed in full stuff so you can't see his face. So it's like he's bringing this little kid along, and it's just I always think the movies when they do this and then just don't go, why isn't everybody having a full fucking panic attack?
What the fuck is a blue thing talking?
Like there's all these like animal like creatures that are fighting in the streets and stuff. People are like not like what the fuck is that fucking thing over there?
City, like.
What's that fucking yoke over there? Yeah. Anyway, it's just so funny they do these in a lot of those movies that feature animated creatures in our universe, and people just seem to be okay with it. Like, and not that like our universe wouldn't have changed. Like, think of Ted. Ted is a guy, a kid made a wish, and Ted came alive. And like, yeah, they show him going like talk hosts, like or talk shows and stuff like that. But no one kind of going, look, he needs to be studied. We need to find out why this is paranormal. This like fucking changes everything. This changes science. It changes religion. It changes everything. God, I didn't realize I had so much. I didn't realize I had so much worked up about this.
Do you want to talk about it more?
I think that this might be one for my therapist tomorrow.
Well, my whole thing is with the rings, and you just like, I still don't know how they control how they teleport with the rings and where they teleport to.
Right. Yeah. I assume it's like a wish or something.
Yeah, and it's just, it's a kid's movie. We're not going to get so deep into it, but there's one where you're just like throwing a ring around. It's just like a trick shot, and it's hitting off moving pieces of rocks, and you're just like, that's impossible to plan what you're planning to do here, and then it go and teleports them out from safety, and just going, that's silly to tell a kid that because they'll try that, and fucking totally rad, but just like, I think the physics are off here, guys. But yeah, like an entertaining romp for sure. Quite funny. And I'd watch it again. Good crack. So yeah, with that out of the way, we'll just get into spoilers, and we're probably just going to jump around at just the funny shit.
Yeah.
And touch on some of the end of the movie and some of the resolutions and themes, which I thought were really cool. But yeah, the dance sequence. You can't.
Yeah, let's just jump ahead.
Yeah,
to the dance sequence
the only way you start.
Oh man, I pissing myself laughing. It's absolutely fantastic. And to the fucking Chemical Brothers, like it's
galvanized. Oh yeah, what a fucking banging tune! Just like, yes, please. Yeah. That's so fucking good. It's
but it's Jim Carrey dancing with himself and the fucking lasers all around, and it's just to galvanize, and it's just fucking brilliant. And him lip syncing and everything to it as well.
And like the effects are so good in that scene. Like it's because they're infiltrating a base and there's lasers, but they have these cool suits on that repel the lasers and all that stuff. Just then they kind of go, all right, let's go. And a tandem kind of boogie to Chemical Brothers through the fucking lasers, and it looks class. Like I want one of those suits, and that is it's like in the middle of it while they're dancing, the thing he does like all throughout all the movies, I imagine, like with like licking the fucking electric fucking hair.
Like it's a battery, yeah.
That's one of those things you just don't get from any other actor. It's just like, well, can I lick this thing and just do this? But apart from it, like in the dancing sequence, they are just like they're back to back and going around the lasers doing all their hand movements, and it's fucking absolutely sublime. Like he's having absolute fucking ball. Like I would love to see behind the scenes of that sequence and how anyone kept a fucking straight face.
Oh, but I wonder if he's because the other way they talked about how sometimes he can go into real full method, like when he did Andy Kaufman, and he had everybody calling him Andy on set, and it was like some people were like, okay, but other people were like, okay, he's completely acting this way outside. If he was walking around in costume, acting as fucking Robotnik on set,
licking that fucking hair.
Yeah, I want to see some fucking footage of that, like fucking brilliant.
It's fucking great. But yeah, what do you think about Shadow's backstory? Like, I really, really liked it. Like,
I did, and as I said, I thought it was quite like dark. This whole part of it at the start, as you said, is like they go back to him in this facility that he's in back in back in the 70s, and this is actually the very last scene from the second movie. You get to see Shadow, in this facility, and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen here? But yeah, like it's cool. It's a cool backstory, and it's also and I do think it's quite sad, like because we might mention death in other of these type of kid movies, but you do like later on actually see the kid Maria, the kid that he befriends. You see her fucking dead body. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking grim as shit. Like like it's proper dark. But yeah, like it's cool, man. A lot, and the gun, which is what's the Guardian Units of Nations or something like that. It's called Guardian. Like they, they're kind of, I think the good guys now that Sonic kind of works with. Whereas, as far as Shadow is concerned, he blames them because they're the ones that had him, brought back from fucking whatever when he crashed here from space, and he blames them for the explosion that ends up killing Maria and him being in prison for the next 50 years or whatever. Like, so but it's a cool, man. It's cool. It's seriously dark backstory, but a cool one. And he's such a badass looking character.
It's just, I just loved him. Like Keanu Reeves, it's perfect that it's his voice for this character, because it's just, it adds a kind of like, oh yeah, that's John Wick, man.
Well, I get on that. I wonder, like, did how much of a hand he had in asking about stuff in the character, because like at one point Shadow jumps on a motorbike. Now Shadow can run as fast as Sonic, which is fucking as fast as nearly as the speed of light. I was like, so why has he got a motorbike? And then I was thinking, actually, when Keanu Reeves voiced that character, Captain Canada or whatever the fuck it was in Toy Story, he was also on a motorbike. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that Keanu, who just happens to have his own motorbike company, is obsessed with motorbikes, is like, well, look, I don't really care. I don't care what else is in my contract. I don't need any crazy riders at the end of it. I just want that. He has to be on a motorbike at some point. And
I wonder if the director is a fan of Akira as well, because some of the shots are almost like for like. Just like, oh, I've seen that fucking animated shot before. It's just fucking any excuse to have a motorbike flying through fucking Tokyo in the rain. It's just like, that's pretty fucking badass. But so we'll get up to speed with a kind of plot. We've gone through Shadows, wakes up in that sea prison. That when he breaks out of that fucking prison, fucking awesome little action scene where he's just teleporting around. It just reminds you of X-Men 2.
Nightcrawler, I thought the same thing. Yeah,
it's just like, that's fucking excellent that he's just teleporting around, beating the shit out of everyone, which is always fun. And then just a lot of cool shots in this when he escapes from that and the prison's in the sea, and he's just skating across the fucking water, kind of coming towards screen. He's just gone. It's just a fantastic character. Like it would make me go back and play the games just to see. Like, can you play with him in the games?
Yeah, like I haven't played the more recent games. I assume so.
He's pretty badass. Then obviously we meet the gang and the family. I've written out the gang and the family. That means it's all three Sonic Hedgehogs and John Marston and his wife.
We're just calling all three Sonic Hedgehogs. We're calling Knuckles and Tails, you lazy bastard.
My notes are just like,
I'm having too much fun. And then Echidna, god damn it.
Okay. They're not all hedgehogs. Oh, fuck's sake. Lazy one word notes coming up here. But they're whisked away by Gunn to because Knuckles fucking Shadow's obviously running amok in Tokyo. And that action scene is fucking fantastic. The chase is amazing because it's in the rain as well. This is where some of the animation on Shadow I thought was fantastic in the rain. And I mean, we always say they always shoot at night in the rain because it's easy, but there's some really fucking extreme close-ups of his face with the fucking like that chaos energy in his eyes and stuff, and it's just absolutely fucking badass. But I thought it was a really good action scene. But like it's when we get some more of those flashbacks with the obviously the disaster in the facility and how he's put into stasis and stuff like that. There's lovely montages of his relationship with Maria, and it's just
the roller skating, skating around the thing. Like, it was good fun. Yeah,
it's really like fucking love just a good montage. You know what I mean? And it wasn't overly emotional or anything, but straight away you're getting the bond with the two of them, and you like with a kids movie, you're not thinking that they're going to go down the road where she fucking died or something. But did something happen? They're obviously not going to show that, but turns out they do. And that's why on a second watch, I imagine that would hit a lot harder. I don't want to cry in front of my daughter when I'm watching this now, but that was just fucking fantastic. But when we finally get introduced to Jim Carrey, there's some not that I was confused by kids movie, but when they're in some that crazy Tokyo karaoke place. And this kind of Robotnik's robots kind of arrive, and then a guy comes in a motorbike and kills them all, and that's Agent Stone. and then we realize that like, oh, fucking Robotnik is still alive. Did he die again at the end of the second one, or was he banished?
No, he's not dead. No, and I think I think that again in this as well, that was supposed to, if you hadn't seen the second one, because you know you're talking about there's certain things that are brought over from the second one that are in this as well. But that whole scene,
it's kind of fused, yeah.
Yeah, because like in the first one is where he gets banished. He goes off to he's sent off to this mushroom realm, and then the start of that movie is how he's getting back, and that's why in the second movie. But in this one, yeah, straight away it's that misdirection where you think, oh shit, this is Robotnik's. What are Robotnik's robots doing here? But then obviously we get a reveal of whose they actually are. But it is fun though. I was like, who is on a motorcycle? I completely forgot about it.
There's a great line when the motorbike comes in to save them, kills all the fucking robots, whatever. Sonic is just like, Konnichiwaaaaa. I was just fucking, total giggling on my own fucking cinema. Like, it's great. Yeah, and that's when we realize that it's Agent Stone and Robotnik is back or whatever, but he's let himself go a little bit on a ship. His fast food bit, fucking containers all over the place, and he's kind of a slobbery mess. And this, like Jim Carrey, just straight away, the beaming smile when this part happens, when the scene happens, because you realize, okay, now like the start without Jim Carrey, I thought was super strong anyway, but now you're just going, oh yes, like this is just the reason I'm fucking here. And it's not just like the first one where you kind of, well, not that he's carrying it, but when he's not on screen, the movie's kind of like, you want to get to the next Jim Carrey moment, where I wasn't finding this, or with this. So when he did arrive, it was just like, oh, fucking bring it out, or bring it on. But we find out, there's there's an imposter out there using Robotnik's tech, or his new tech. But it's the moment when he grabs that fucking hair again. He's just like holds out his hand. That obviously was in the second movie as well. But where Sonic's just like, oh really? Do you really? And he's just like, just give me one. Oh, just fucking unbelievable. He's just absolutely sublime. How much was he in? This was one of my notes. How much was he in the second one? Like, is this the most?
No, he's in the second one a good bit. Like the second one is him from the very start. It's him getting back to like straight away. We're on that mushroom fucking gross planet that he sent off to, and it's him, trying to get his way to get out of there. And he has one of his quills, like thing that he's doing that same thing, and he's going to use it to power his machine to get him out of there. And that's when he first meets Knuckles and stuff like. But it's no, he's in it loads in the second one, and I would have liked to have seen more of him in this one, but. As you said, the scenes where you do see him, a lot of times it's two of them, him playing two characters, and it's totally worth the wait, because those scenes are just fantastic. Definitely, the dude doesn't look old enough to be his granddad, but
just like, was he in stasis or something as well? It's just like, I don't know what was going on there.
But he's brilliant playing off himself, and it just works so well, and his comedic body language is like no other, and I know he's famous for it. But it's just the way he is. When he's doing nothing, he's still fucking hilarious, and he's just fantastic. I love him.
When they go to because they all head off to the military base, for some reason. But this is like obviously where we meet. I have just Grandpa Robotnik for some reason. But when they get there, I think Self and Sonic are talking about does he have any family or his family line, and he's just like, no, when like for some reason like all genders find me repulsive. It's just like, but he says like the Robotnik name will end avec moi. He turns and goes, yes, I speak French. Just like, guys, that's not in the script. Like that's just
I think he does a call back to that as well later on.
It's brilliant. But that's when we're introduced to.
Is Ivo? Ivo, is that the grandpa?
Ivo,
yeah.
Ivo. And what's Grandpa's name? We don't get his name. No.
Is Ivo not the name of? Is Ivo not the name of the grandpa? Yeah. Oh no, it's Gerald. Gerald.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
Gerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turns out that his
Ivo was our Robotnik, is Jim Carrey, original one. Yeah.
Jim 1 and Jim 2.
Yeah.
But we find out, yeah, they Shadow and Grandpa are behind this dastardly plan, and there's something about an energy ball that sucks up a whole mountain, and there's a big explosion. And I didn't know what was happening there because I went to the toilet, so I'll just skim over that.
I think this is like is that from the thing from the Eclipse? It's like the Eclipse cannon, this orbital.
Oh yeah.
laser thing. Yeah,
they're trying to do something there. But I came back in, and it's the one of the best montages you ever see, where it's montage of like it's Grandpa asking Ivo,
no, he's asking, yeah, Jim Carrey, what would you have done?
What would you have done if I was around all these times? We just get montage of them doing various things, cycling bikes and running around and stuff. There's one where he's playing Santa Claus. His granddad is Santa Claus, and it's off screen. Jim Carrey just runs on and just dives on him and smashes into a tree and tears the tree down. And like as we're saying it's probably not that funny, but I laughed my fucking ass off during that.
It's funny. It is funny, yeah, because they don't bother making it a very like young character, Jim, or Robotnik. With older, with say a younger again, Gerald. They just didn't have them both as still as adults doing what a grandfather and grandson would do, and yeah, it's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's really, really good.
So yeah, I have a note here saying, ask Phil about plot device MacGuffin that they're on about. Because there's a point where they go to London to grab a key of some sort. And I was
so they need these two,
what that was,
because they need the two key cards to activate the Eclipse cannon. And so when what's his face at the start it gets killed. What's his the main guy, the head of gun? What's his name? Anyway, when he gets killed, he gives a key code card to it, and this is where we first meet Kristen Ritter's character. She's a member of, straight away. I'm like, man, she's dressed like a bad guy. She looks like a bad guy. There's no way. Yeah. So straight away I was like, yeah, okay, like she's probably going to be the bad guy. But that's what it is, though. It's a key card. So the idea is that he's going to Gerald, I think, whatever it is, says he's going to use a laser to blow up London, and I think it's along with what's his face with Shadow. And so he's avenged Maria's death and blah blah blah, and that's why he needs the second key card for. They need two key cards to activate it. There you are.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for filling that in. Yeah. Dad's confused in a kids movie. But yeah, when they get to London, this is where like they're sneaking into the facility, and we get our our music. I was going to say action scene, but that's it's a pretty decent scene, this kind of infiltration scene. It's just like James Marsden and can't remember the lady's name, but they get a bit of good comedic screen time where they are trying to sneak in, and they have little holograms that that they are using to disguise themselves, and they sneak in. His wife turns into a very angry black lady who scalds the security guard in the thing. It's so silly, but it's still fucking. Still
it's her sister. It's basically that's her sister and her brother-in-law. It's Maddie's sister and brother-in-law. Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Again, yeah, it's a callback again to first and second movies, but yeah, because she didn't like, the sister-in-law doesn't like James Marsden, so I guess it was a way to bring them into the plot without actually having to bring those two characters in, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So no, I enjoyed that as well, man. Her going off on one Adam. Do you know who I am, or do you know what gun stands for? What she said. What did she says? What she say it stands for? Something like, I can't remember what it says. Gonna beat the shit out of you, basically, or whatever she says it stands for. And no. So I enjoyed that. Like, and it's their whole break-in scene of them getting the key card and pretending to be people. I thought that was good fun. Like, they're going into. If we're getting into kind of some darker stuff now as well, because this is where Sonic starts disagreeing with the team as well, because he's the Chaos Emerald, which is features heavily, like especially in the second one, and it's this all powerful thing, and so Sonic or Knuckles is kind of the only one that knows where it is, because I suppose it's almost like the almost like the fucking Thanos' rings, the temptation to use this power, and so he doesn't even know where it is. But Sonic is now is angry and upset, and he ends up kind of telling the team to get lost, like he's not.
Because Tom or James Marsden was knocked out. Because like in that sequence when they get the key card or whatever, it turns out then, year one turns bad, and it was Gunn were behind it all along, and they wanted to trap them for some reason. And
I think when James Marsden is when he's using his disguise,
out by Shadow.
He's disguised as the General Walters or Waters, whatever his name is. He's disguised as him, and when he gets knocked down, Sonic just sees it, and he sees red, like he's just, what have you done to? Essentially, he's his dad. That's what he calls him, his dad in it. So he's not listening to the likes of Tails and brushes him off and stuff like that. He kind of. That's this kind of the dark turn where he's just not listening to anybody. Good. He's gonna go and fucking stop him at all costs, and he's gonna use the Master Emerald to do this. And it's cool, man. It's a cool little plot point. This kind of going off the rails part of it.
Yeah, and then when he gets the emerald, he like his grandpa and Sonic and Shadow are up in a space station, some kind of space. That was cool, actually. When that hidden layer comes out from underneath the Thames in London. I love when you just see good fucking water effects. It's just you just know it took like 2 months to render. It's just like, it's fucking brilliant. But that space station goes up into that ship goes up into space, and then Sonic with the emerald power or whatever
becomes super.
There's
Sonic,
nothing like when you see him fucking tearing up and just fucking tearing straight through the space station was pretty fucking cool. And then Sonic and Knuckles have a fucking cool battle. With each of them fucking harnessing, they both become super.
Shadow.
Fucking. What did I say?
Knuckles.
Fuck's sake, man. Don't cut that out. Sonic and Shadow go up, and they both harness the energy of the emerald and have a fucking badass fight. And then both gyms also have. Both gyms, there are my notes. Both Robotniks also have a battle also, and it's fucking brilliant. It's a great throwback. But like, I don't know why both of them. Like one is kind of got scorpion kind of bits, and the other one has kind of spider. I don't know if that's throwback to the games, but I was just like, that's somebody probably went, that looks really cool and kids love it, but just thought it was a bit silly and stupid. But Grandpa Robotnik at one point gets a big giant fucking hand or whatever, and was it fucking Ivo says like ooh, nano fist. I haven't seen that since I hate watched Green Lantern in 2011. Just like, yes, another Green Lantern joke. Bring it on.
Green Lantern. God, that movie's so bad.
Yeah, I should watch that again actually. But Sonic and Shadow's fight moves to the moon. Pretty fucking cool. But then they obviously have a moment when Sonic realizes that, this is not him, and it's like there's no winners with revenge, and Sonic and Shadow they bond about their pain. And it's a nice moment. Yeah. I thought that played really well. And he's just like, that you hold on to. He's telling me, hold on to the love you had, and that endures, not the anger. And the music's kind of starting to swell. I was just like, going, this is a really good scene. Like, really good,
I actually had a note here to ask you about it. Yeah, to say, because like it's very much as Sonic realizes he's doing exactly what Shadow had done. Like, he's going out to get revenge for what happened to John, the same way he's getting, or Shadow wants revenge for Maria. And I just thought it was great. I know it's a trope that will happen. The good guy stops becoming that thing just at the last point. Whether it's Luke Skywalker or whoever it is, you think they're going to go over the edge, but then they kind of go no, and they make their peace with the bad guy. And yes, it's been done loads of times before, but I thought there was a lot of heart to it, man. I really enjoyed that scene. I thought they played it out very, very well. Yeah,
I just thought it was excellent, and it just, again, because I'm a fucking dad and all that, it's just good messaging for kids. It's just like this, and it's told really well. Where if I'm getting something out of it, you can, but it's not convoluted enough that a kid wouldn't go, oh, okay, yeah, just it's a nice theme, nice messaging. And the cannon, it ends up firing, and was cool. They end up steering the cannon just fucking away from Earth, but it slices the moon in half. I'm just like, that's fucking cool, right? That's not going to come back to haunt the planet Earth in any way, shape, or form.
I think like, because this is leading into the part where they not only do Sonic start working alongside Shadow to destroy the cannon, but so does our Robotnik start working, helping them, because at this point, Gerald, Grandpa Robotnik, whatever, has has revealed that he actually wants to destroy the planet,
Everything.
not just destroy London. He wants to destroy everything, and even that's too much for Robotnik. He's like, no, like you can't wipe out everything on the planet. And so that's it. Basically, it's fucking bad guys and good guys team up against the super bad guy kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun on the way it plays out. It's great crack.
Yeah, and then they save the day, and it's all well and good. How do you think about how it actually ends and stuff?
Yeah, like it's cool, as you said. Nice. I'm obviously not a scientist. I don't know what will happen to the Earth without the moon.
Two pieces flying around the place.
Yeah, like if one of them kind of drifts off and goes into our orbit or something, won't that wipe out the Earth? I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't know why they went with that, but it did look fucking cool.
Pretty fucking badass.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, they've managed to as the core, I think, is going to explode. I think we see them on I'm sure they don't actually die. I don't know if there's an actual.
It looks like they sacrifice himself, which is nice.
Yeah, it looks like that Shadow and Robotnik do it together. But I'm sure we'll be seeing them in the next one. There's no way that's it.
Absolutely.
We'll see because Shadow can teleport pretty much. When you see him at the start when he's so I assume at the last second he gets them.
Teleport out.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm. Whether we'll see Shadow in the next one or not, or whether they just kind of go, okay, he teleported Robotnik off and he's gone off to do his own thing, or what.
Well, his arc is kind of complete, so you just leave him. But then again, it's Keanu Reeves, and you're going, like people will want him.
Yeah, I mean, want him back as fucking John Wick, and that's done. You know what I mean? It's like, just, bring him back. Like,
but, and then it ends the way it started with the family all safe back on a camping trip and having races, and everything's happy and brilliant and happy days, and that's the end of it. And then there is a mid-credit sequence.
I only read about that. I'd walked out because I had to get out, but I read about it. Like, it's got the metal robot Sonics, isn't it?
Yeah, and a pink Sonic, pink Hedgehog or something.
Amy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was cool. Yeah, cool sequence, but there was some people in the cinema that went when the pink thing arrived. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but
like Robot Sonic is one that you battle in the games, even in the earlier games.
Okay, but there's loads of them. Yeah, there's loads. Of Robot Sonics
I'd only, like I said, I had to leave, so I kind of just looked it up to see what the sequence, what the after credits was, and they were saying he fights a whole bunch of them. But yeah, like it's just good fun, man. As I said, there's a few gripes with it with regards to the story and the physics and all the rest of it. But as a whole, man, it does hit home, and there's some really some good messages, some fucking wonderful voice acting, some obviously great. I mean, James Marsden and I can't remember the actress who plays Maddie in it. But the two of them don't have a massive amount to do, really. They don't have. There's nothing overly emotional on their side of it that they have to do, stretch their powers, their acting abilities. Whereas, you look at fucking Robotnik, who's holding those scenes, Jim Carrey, when he's in scenes, he's mostly only in them with CG characters. He's not playing off anybody else other than the person who's doing the stand-in as his double. So they've done that, like, production wise, they've done it so flawlessly. The two characters, like it's so well cut. It's really well edited. And it's I'd like for anybody who, even if you decide not to go and see it, go on to YouTube and in a month's time when it's finally on DVD, and look up the dance scene, because it's just wonderful. It's all these fucking lasers, all hitting them as the two of them are dancing around in tandem, and they're holding each other and spinning each other around, and it's just galvanized mechanical brothers.
It's a scene that, like, with any other actor, it's just that A, probably wouldn't be in the movie, or B, if it was, it just wouldn't work with anyone else. A lot of this with Jim Carrey reminded me of, like, 90s Jim Carrey, like, of just him just going fucking bananas and just doing kind of like taking what's on the page and then just turning it up to fucking 12, and pretty much all of it works. Most of it works. Like, even if it doesn't work, you're still smiling because he's just fucking bananas. But when it works, it's, side-splittingly funny, like, at times. Just going, this guy, I just love to be on set when he's just doing this. Just fucking, I'm surprised the cameras just aren't shaking with people laughing their fucking ass off. He's just...
I really think that's spot on, actually, Daz. I agree with that 100%, that it felt like that those 90s performances. I actually rewatched The Mask recently.
Oh wow,
and,
yeah.
great. And yeah, and like The Mask, Ace Ventura, and so what he brought to those characters, like those, there's no one else playing those characters that would have gotten that, because he just, as you said, took what could have been a very boring normal character. Now I know The Mask was an actual comic book character, but very different from how Jim Carrey played him. But like you think about say like Robin Williams doing the genie in Aladdin. There's not really anybody else who's going to pull that energy and that kind of and make that character that character. And I think that's something so special that Jim Carrey brought to these movies. It was a inspired choice.
Yeah, especially through the trajectory of his career, where he's so aloof and wildly fucking manic and absurd in to the best degree ever. But then when he obviously went down the more dramatic route and everyone kind of wanted him to, and just see what he could do, and then Eternal Sunshine comes out and you're just going, Jesus Christ, this is a whole new fucking beast of actor here. And to see him kind of come around again and go, actually, yeah, still got it. It's just like, yeah, it's just how could you not be entertained watching him in a role like this, but especially when Jim Carrey is, because he's really deep and fucking crazy behind the scenes and dark and all that at times, but to see him actually having the fucking time of his life, it you can see it on screen where it's not just showing up for a fucking paycheck and just going, oh, it'll be funny today. He's kind of going, this is great. And that's why I'd watch it again, because there's so many moments where they're just fucking brilliant. But I'm
sure there's some we've missed as well. I'm sure there's stuff that we would have gone to miss on the second viewing. You'll pick up on some more of those jokes and callbacks, and he does a lot of to the camera kind of acting as well. It's even during that dance sequence when he's miming, push the button from Galvanize and stuff. And it's just it's brilliant. It really is. It's definitely it's a lot of fun to watch, and a good movie to start off this year. I know it's not a 2025. But it is a good movie to start off. So thanks a million, Daz, for taking us through that. It was, I think I kind of had more fun even talking through it. It's kind of one, but I kind of wish we had gone to see that one at the same time.
Fucking good fun.
Yeah. But yes, okay, cool. Well, look, that's well done, Daz, taking us through that. And that will take us to the end of our episode. So, look, again, it's great to have two decent movies in a row after doing Nosferatu last week and then doing this one. It's good to be kicking off the year with these strong reviews, and I'm sure we'll have a horrible one coming up for you soon, because we know that Flight Risk is out, I think, the week after next. So, But yeah, look, for those of you at home, thanks for listening and watching as always. If you wouldn't mind linking, subscribing, and all other good stuff, that'd be great. Share it around with your mates, and we look forward to seeing you next week for the next one. So take it easy. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.